Good morning. I'm Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, your quick dose of the best new nonfiction from some of the smartest authors around. Make sure you're signed up for our free newsletter using the link in the episode notes so you can get these big ideas right in your inbox. Now, if you've ever caught your mind spiraling at 2 a.m., replaying mistakes, forecasting disasters, you know how it can feel to have your brain working against you. But what if you could train it to be your ally instead of your adversary? In How to Make Your Brain Your Best Friend, author and neuroscientist Rachel Barr lays out a practical playbook for turning down the volume on unhelpful loops and turning up the habits that build clarity, calm, and positive momentum. We'll dig into a handful of the most actionable ideas right after this quick break.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a neuroscientist and the author of How to Make Your Brain Your Best Friend. Today, I'm sharing 5 insights from the book that might help you understand and befriend your brain. Number 1, life is hard enough. You don't need to treat your brain like an enemy combatant. There's a certain cultural pride in gritting your teeth and muscling through the hard stuff. We're told that pleasure is indulgent, struggle is noble, and if you're not doing something difficult, are you even trying? But here's the thing. For most people, life is already difficult. Emotionally, physically, metabolically. Whether it's dragging yourself through a workday, keeping a tiny human alive, or coping with grief, most days involve a decent amount of involuntary discomfort. You actually don't need to manufacture more. Contrary to popular self-help lore, willpower isn't how humans actually function. Brains are energy budgeting, and when they resist something, there's often a reason, or at least a signal worth decoding. Take cravings, for example. Research has shown that when your emotional reserves are low, your brain will reach for easy dopamine, pizza, wine, Instagram, because it's tired and trying to feel better. It would be unhelpful for me to tell you to resist that craving. When you try to brute force your way through with sheer willpower, you often fail and then shame yourself for it. A friendlier approach is to redesign the conditions so the right thing, the habits you want to maintain, is actually the easy thing. Instead, I suggest you meet the need underneath. Maybe just have your fried beige treat, but then also provide your brain with the fuel source it might be crying out for, which is feeling good. Go outside, play with a dog, boop his little wet nose. Text someone whose name doesn't fill you with dread and chat about something silly. Microdose delight, daily. It's a better bet than willpower. Number 2, single tasking is a kindness. We treat attention like it's limitless. We sit at our desks, shoulders hunched to our ears, semi-listening to a Zoom meeting as we Slack, email, and scroll social media. The brain, meanwhile, responds to this commotion by unravelling. Attention is limited. Media multitasking taxes working memory and control networks. What you're really doing is switching tasks, reorienting, reloading the task model, inhibiting the just abandoned goal. Even when switches are brief, the overhead compounds into stress and fatigue. Worse still, studies show that we're more likely to believe misinformation when we're exposed to it while multitasking. And once the misinformation gets in, it can be incredibly difficult for the brain to let go of it. Divided attention leaves less bandwidth for discernment and less cognitive energy to even try. It sounds counterintuitive to tell you to pay attention to social media, but here we are. If you're going to scroll TikTok, just scroll TikTok. Give it your full attention. It won't make the algorithm more virtuous, but it might make your brain a tiny bit sharper when it matters most. Number 3, microdose delight. Yes, that's actual delight, like being delighted. In the modern world, it's not danger that wears us down. It's the ongoing hum of low-grade stress. Chronic stress is a kind of stuck physiology. Beyond a certain threshold of stress, the brain loses its capacity to rein the stress response team in, called the HPA axis. And the body responds to it as though it were an injury. This pro-inflammatory state can wreak havoc on our mental and physical health, which is why we've got to manually push the brakes on stress ourselves, several times a day, by microdosing delight. Just delight. Miniature, blink-and-you-miss-it pleasures. Petting a warm dog, bird song on your walk, climbing into clean sheets, watching two old lovers giggling like teenagers who are new to love. Brief moments of genuine delight give your nervous system a momentary sigh of relief. They act as safety cues that downshift threat physiology. You can't wait for the weekend or your vacation for a big sporadic dump of relaxation. By then, your poor body and brain will have suffered the lash of stress for days or weeks. Which is why I say microdose delight. You must build in opportunities to be delighted several times every day. That usually requires stepping away from distraction into a space where delight is likely to happen. Step outside for 5 minutes if you're at work. Take your lunch break at a cat cafe if you can. The point isn't constant bliss. It's just to break the continuity of stress so your system remembers it can shift state, little and often. Number 4, sleep builds tomorrow's brain. We all know we need plenty of quality sleep for a healthy body and brain, and yes, splendid, marvellous, all great things. But let us not forget that what we do before we sleep also shapes the brain we wake up to the next day. When you sleep, you don't simply rest, you also consolidate. The brain plays back your day like a slightly confused film editor, cutting together what stays and what gets tossed. Emotions that mattered, details that seemed important, your boss's weird comment about your haircut, and the joke you made on Slack that got 0 emojis of approval. Oh, absolutely. Right into memory's long-term vault, where you can never, ever forget about it. What you think about right before sleep also tends to stick. So that replay loop of self-criticism right before bed, your brain's going to log that, filing it under important stuff that defines me. Again, it wouldn't be helpful for me to tell you, just don't think about your boss's weird comment. Just as it wouldn't be helpful for me to tell you to not think of a red balloon. What you can do is overlay some gentler input, something you're proud of, a minor triumph you'd otherwise forget. One thing you liked about yourself today that you might never say aloud but could quietly name in your own head. Think of it like setting the neurochemical mood music for the night shift crew. Number 5, you can't feel you belong to anyone if you secretly hate everyone. Loneliness is a threat to health, equal to obesity and smoking. But it isn't always solved by meeting up with a friend. Sometimes loneliness is a signal that we've lost our sense of belonging to humanity itself. Belonging isn't about proximity. It's about identification. It's about looking at your species and feeling like you're one of them. The digital world makes this pretty difficult. When your TikTok feed is 50% rage bait and 100% curated to show the worst of us, it gets harder to feel like you're team human. Those viral Karen videos enraging you in the comments, many of them are staged. designed specifically to manipulate your anger responses and goose the algorithm. And your brain, poor thing, just logs it all as typical human behaviour, thanks to a processing bias called the availability heuristic. It might feel oddly good to rail against strangers online, but what you're really doing is training yourself to dislike humanity. That everyone is selfish, awful, contemptible. And those are the factory settings for loneliness. So yes, absolutely work on your friendships, build connections, and try to be a likeable human, but work on your capacity to like other people too. Curate your inputs. Choose media that makes you feel closer to, not disgusted by, other humans. Your brain's worldview depends on what you feed it. It's a quick whistle-stop tour of how you can make your brain your best friend. And if you're thinking those insights feel a bit soft and warm to the touch, it's not because they're lacking scientific rigour. All of this is evidence-based, just warmed up a bit. My formal training in neuroscience is always the foundation for everything I teach about the brain. It's just that I also try to consider the human life that it's being applied to.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, everyone, you can get a copy of Make Your Brain Your Best Friend wherever fine books are sold, or you can use the link in the episode notes. And I wanted to make sure you heard the big news that the Next Big Idea Club just picked Brené Brown's new book, Strong Ground, as its latest selection. To get a signed copy of the book, an invitation to a private Q&A with Brené, and a regular pipeline of exciting nonfiction sent right to your door, go to nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAILY for a special discount. That's nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAILY. We'll see you tomorrow.